College isn't for everyone, and it's expensive AF.
In this video, we made a list of 11 different jobs that appeal to all different types of personalities.
If you're new to this channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to hit that bell so you get the notifications when we put out new videos. In the comments below, let us know what you had for lunch today. And if you haven't had lunch, then let us know what you're gonna have for lunch today.
Some of these jobs require up to an associate's degree. Some you have to go to trade school and get certified. Other ones just require certifications. And some of them just require a high school diploma, and then they're going to do on-the-job training.
Yep. So let's get this ball started, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. First up, we got dental hygienists. These people are going to make about $78K per year on average.
That's good.
And it is pretty good. They're going to work in dental offices. They're going to be the ones that have their fingers all up in your mouth, making sure that you don't have anything in your mouth like gingivitis, cavities, or any other oral problems, okay?
Scraping off all the plaque.
Yep, they're going to be the ones that are like polishing your teeth, cleaning them, flossing them, and making sure that you're doing those good oral hygiene things that you're supposed to be doing in your mouth.
And if you don't do what they tell you to do, they poke you in the gums with little sharp things.
Like, 3, 2, 2, 1.
Number 2 is commercial airline pilot. Oh. On average, they're going to make about $140,000 a year.
And they get to travel all over the place. Whew. Sign me up, coach.
Doesn't happen overnight, though. It's kind of a long haul. You got to put in a lot of work.
Okay.
But if college isn't your thing, I mean, still got to do a lot of studying for this one, but you got to get your private pilot's license first. On average, that's about $10,000 to get certified for that. Okay. And then you have to get your instrument rating, which means you can read all the buttons and knobs in a cockpit.
It's not a band camp instrument. Okay.
Yeah. But the instrument rating, you have to get that. Obviously, you got to know what that stuff does. And then you have to go get all of your flight hours for your commercial pilot certification. So on average, it's about 400 hours of training, and then that portion is going to cost you about $20,000. You have to also become a certified flight instructor, and then on top of that, you got to have more experience. But I mean, I'm not complaining about that. I don't think that's a bad thing, right? I hope that they're real experienced by the time they're up in the air flying around passengers. So it's going to be an additional 1,500 hours minimum of flight time before you can finally become a paid commercial airline pilot. But I mean, it's a lot of work, and it does cost a good amount of money, but you're going to make really good money. And if that's your thing, then that's a great option to avoid going to traditional college and do what you love.
Still sounds cheaper than a bachelor's degree.
Yeah.
And
a lot cheaper.
Travel, sold. Coming in at number 3, we got electricians, or sparkies, or zappers, or whatever in the hell they're called. They got a whole bunch of different little names that they call themselves out in the little trade world. But electricians, okay? On average, these people are going to make about $64,000. I mean, this could vary depending on what type of electrician and where you work and how much experience you have, but that's going to be the average, okay? Now, the journeymans are going to be your most common electricians, okay? They're going to be doing like the repairs, the installations, all that type of stuff. But there's 4 different main types of electricians that are going to be running around, okay? You're going to have your residential electricians, you're going to have your commercial electricians, and then you're going to have your industrial technicians, or excuse me, electricians. Electrician technicians? I mean, electricians, okay? Those are going to be the ones that are doing the things in the factories, all that. And then you're going to have your independent electricians that are probably coming out and running their own business and just fixing things that break for you, okay? So those are going to be your 4 types of electricians.
Number 4 is electrical power line repairers and installers, also known as linemen. Now they're going to make, on average, about $74,000 a year. But after a couple years, they can make in excess, well excess, of $100,000 a year. And once you get into this job, people usually don't get out. It's pretty competitive to get in. It doesn't have a big growth rate. But these people, they have a lot of risks on the job. Right? They play with high voltage stuff. Electricity, they're super high up a lot of the times. I mean, it's a job that I don't want to do. I don't know if you've ever been shocked. I don't like it.
Nope.
I don't like playing with electricity, but that's me. Some people, it's well worth the risk. And they're going to be the ones who are saving us after a storm, and they're working late nights or on the weekends or on the holidays, and they're going out there, thankfully, usually during crazy weather, and they're getting the power grid back up. So these people have a really important job, and they get paid for it.
Number 5, air traffic controller. All right, these are going to be the people that you see up in the towers. Well, I guess you don't see them because they're up in the tower. They're the people inside of the tower, okay? And they're the ones that are telling the planes, like, where to go when they're in flight, when they're landing, and when they're taking off, making sure the planes don't crash into each other. I mean, on average, these guys are going to make about $120K a year. But in certain states, this could be as low as $70,000 a year, and in other states, I mean, it could be up in $140,000. So it's all just going to kind of depend on where you're living and where you're doing this flight traffic control type stuff. Now, to be able to get one of these positions, I mean, you're going to have to go through a school with the FAA, which is the Federal Aviation Administration. Okay, 2-year course typically, and then that can get you into a position as an air traffic controller. And then you're going to work random shifts, you know, holidays, nights, whatever, because planes are always flying around, and somebody has to make sure they don't crash into each other. So, you know, it's an important job. But if that's something that you like to do, this might be an awesome position for you.
One of my buddies, right after high school, actually went and got trained in this, and then he works up in Seattle. He's been making great money ever since his early 20s. I mean, real good money. So, yeah, it's a good option if that's your thing.
Yeah. I don't want to sit in a tower for hours upon hours. So, not going to be for me, but might be for you.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. Anytime I think about air traffic controllers, I just think about the movie Die Hard. Yeah. You know what I'm talking about?
These kids don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Yeah. I know they're too young for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go watch it. It's a great movie.
Yeah. You know, that Call of Duty skin that just came out a couple months ago, okay? Yeah.
John McClane.
Yeah. It's a thing.
Yeah.
It's from that movie.
Old guys like us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Ask your parents about it.
Number 6 is an X-ray technician. On average, they're going to make about $61,000 a year. You're going to need an associate's degree for this. And then you're going to do stuff like X-rays and CT scans and MRIs, and you're taking pictures of the bones and other internal parts of the body. And then you just present your findings to the doctor, who then gives you, as a patient, a diagnosis of whatever they found. So,
Man.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
You can go to college for this. You can go in the military for it.
Yeah.
Get trained.
It's cool stuff.
A couple different ways to go about doing this one.
I went to the X-ray people like a year ago, and I was like, yo, doc, my ankle randomly starts hurting all the time for no reason. And they were like, put a brace on it. Put a brace on it. So finally, after putting a brace on it and going back to the doctor like 5 different times, I was like, yo, I need an X-ray. And they like did an X-ray on my ankle. And they were like, here, hold this, stand there. Okay, all right. Run, click a button, blink, run back. Okay, here, do this, do that. Oh, okay, oh, click. And then they were like, oh, hey, you got an extra bone in your ankle. That's why it hurts. And I'm like, huh.
You're a mutant.
Yeah. They were like, we can cut it out. I'm like, nah, we're cool. I don't like to be cut on. So now I just run around with an extra bone in my ankle. That hurts randomly. But I'm not going to let them cut me open.
Weirdo.
I don't like it. Okay, number 7, plumbers. Yes, plumbers. All right, the journeyman plumbers, they're going to make on average $64,000 a year. It's going to take you a few years to become a journeyman plumber, and then your rate's going to depend, or excuse me, it's going to change depending on where you live, but on average, $64,000. Now, apprenticeships is what you're going to have to do when you're coming into the plumbing program. All right, and that's going to take you 3 to 5 years to complete. On average, these apprenticeships, the plumbers are going to be getting paid, which is awesome, and they're going to be making anywhere from $30,000 to $40,000 on average while they're going through the apprenticeship program. I mean, in these plumbers, they're going to be, you know, installing, maintaining, repairing leaks, sinks, toilets, you know, tubs, all of that type of stuff that involve getting water or fluid from one place to another cleanly and safely and effectively.
Number 8 is going to be police officers. On average, they make $55,000 a year. That can obviously go up or down based on where you live. There's tons of room for overtime, especially right now when the police force needs more and more people. They're just relying on their current officers to pick up the slack. And so there is a lot of room for overtime. So all the guys I know, and women that I know that do it, make pretty good money. They work a lot. But they have really important jobs. I mean, they literally protect society. So they get a lot of hate in the news, but they do a lot of things that are really, really good, like pulling people over, keeping us safe in traffic. They're going to be writing tickets. They're going to be questioning suspects. Obviously, they're making arrests. They got to show up to court. They got to go on trial based on the way that things go and the things that they see in different cases. So, really important job. We need more of them.
Oh, yeah. Coming in at number 9, being a firefighter. Okay, these people are going to make, on average, about $45,000 a year. But that's going to change depending on where you live and, how much overtime you're working. This is a job that my grandpa did for his entire career, and it was real cool. They worked one whole day, and then they had one day off. And they'd work, like 3-4 days a week, and then they'd have, like, a week off. And then they'd rotate these shifts. They got all the regular benefits that everybody else would get, being in, like, a state position or a government position. So you got the health care, the paid holidays, vacation, all that stuff. And then when he wasn't out on a call, fighting a fire, he was at the station working out, whatever else they did over there at the fire station. It was cool. He was always in really, really good shape. And, he was there helping the community, doing all that awesome stuff, letting the kids play on the fire truck at the fire station, going out, putting out fires, going and responding to emergencies where they were needed. And, it was
Everybody
great.
loves them.
Yeah.
Everybody loves firefighters.
Yeah. Good position if you think you're wanting to do it. And he almost did it.
Yeah, I did. I went full-time in the National Guard. But, they do a lot of emergency response calls in the community, just helping out. They do a lot of ambulance runs, depending on how the fire station's set up. But I've got some friends that make $100,000 plus per year as a firefighter, and I've got some friends that make like 30 or 40. Depends on where they're at. Big cities or rural communities. But everywhere you go, they need them. They're in demand.
Yep. Everything's always going to catch on fire, so job ain't going anywhere.
Number 10 is Border Patrol agent. Now, on average, you're going to make about $69,000 a year, but in reality, they make a lot more than that because there's so much overtime available. My best friend has been a Border Patrol agent for almost 10 years, and since his 3rd year, he's made over $100,000 every year. He works a lot. They do work 16-hour shifts multiple times a week. I don't want to do that, but he makes good money. But it is one of the most important jobs in the United States because they literally help secure our border, right? They're protecting the border from having a huge influx of drugs they're being smuggled across or people. Human trafficking is nasty. It's a huge business, and thankfully we have people that are protecting the border. I can't say enough good things about these people. They're hiring all the time. They're always understaffed, and there's a lot of money you can make. And like with all these other government positions, you've got great benefits, healthcare, retirement, all that stuff. So if that's your thing you want to do and you live in those areas, you want to live in those areas, good paying job.
It's not just the southern border either, okay? There's a northern border too.
Yeah.
Okay? And crime happens up there also, okay?
Yeah.
And then you got the coastlines as well. All right? So it's not just the southern border, all right, people?
They're all over the place.
Everywhere.
Yeah. My buddy works out of San Diego, so that's why I was giving that reference.
Coming in at number 11, last but not least, joining the military. All right? That's what we did. And it's been great for us. You can join the military if you're 17 years or older, have a GED or a high school diploma, and you at least got to be a U.S. resident or a U.S. citizen, okay? There's a lot of different branches of the military out there. It's not a one-shoe-fits-all.
There's something for everybody.
Yeah, so, just because you're not like some brute strong person doesn't mean that you can't go into the military, all right? You can go into the Navy, Air Force, the Marine Corps, Army, Coast Guard. All those different places, they all have a special home for people with special skills and all that type of cool, fun, awesome stuff. When you're just starting out in the military, okay, if you don't have any sort of college degree, like a bachelor's degree, you're going to start off as an enlisted member. Okay, if you come in at the bottom of the barrel as an E1, we're talking $2,000 a month is what you're going to make. But you're not going to have to pay for any living expenses. Rent's going to be free. You're going to live in the barracks. They're going to feed you some food.
So if you're smart,
you
can save a lot of money real quick.
And that's just starting out. With time, you'll get promoted. Every 2 years, you get a pay bump anyways. And then once you hit the rank of E5, which is a sergeant, or get married, then you can move out of the barracks, and then they start paying you a housing allowance on top of it. Okay, so we've been in 18 years over here.
I'm old.
14 years for me. We make a lot more money than just the $2,000 a month that you start out with. Everybody likes to think that the military's poor. We're totally not poor, okay? We actually make a good amount of money for what we do. It's just people are irresponsible. They don't know how to manage their funds, so they like to complain. Yeah. But there's a lot of cool stuff that you can do in the military, man. I mean, there's the pay, you get all the benefits, the education benefits, the tuition, health insurance, dental coverage. I mean, and that's going to cover you and your wife and your kids. I mean, in addition to that, I mean, you get a lot of experience that are going to help you grow as an individual. I mean, you can learn how to shoot guns, protect yourself, protect your family, learn how to work as a team, learn how to work in stressful environments, and all the type of stuff that you need to be able to help you be a successful adult in all sorts of different environments. So if you haven't thought about the military, maybe you should give it a look because it might be a little bit more interesting than you originally thought.
I don't know if you can tell or not, but we're recruiters.
Yeah.
So we're a little excited when we get to talk about the military.
Yeah. So, you got questions, you can ask us some questions in the comments below, and we'll actually give you the best responses that we can for your situation and stuff. But yeah, there you go. That's our 11 jobs that you can get without having a bachelor's degree. So, if you liked them, make sure you hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe in the comments below. Let us know which one of these jobs you think you might want to do.
And we'll see you in the next video.